The clock is ticking. Sequence 58. Copyright Ella. 4 hours left. She paced back and forth in her living room, anxiously waiting for the call from the kidnappers. It was nearly 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She had the money readily packed in a small bag. Chard had finally managed to convince her to allow his friends to handle the kidnapping. We cannot allow the criminals to come and coolly walk away with all this money. I know the most important thing here is to get your daughter back, but if we don't do anything, they will attack someone else, one of investigators told Maddie. Don't worry about anything. We will do our very best to bring your daughter back home safe and sound. We always ensure to take adequate precautions, he said. Maddie shook her head. They were going to use a GPS tracking system which was equipped with a heat-sensing infrared imaging and audio scanners to track down the kidnappers. The man who Maddie had come to know as Shibuya had explained to her how to handle the next call from the kidnappers. He had told her to stay calm and to keep the caller talking. This would help them to get a clear trace, and the more the kidnapper talked, the more information they would get. Maddie, please sit down. You have been pacing back and forth for over an hour now, her Auntie Debbie worriedly said. She had arrived earlier that morning after being told about the situation at hand. She abruptly stopped pacing back and forth, and said, I am overwhelmed by everything going on around me. My emotions are scattered. I am trying to be calm, but it just aren't working. Debbie held her hand and squeezed it gently. All things work together for good to those who love God. He is not dead. He will surely vindicate you, she said. God is silent. Auntie, my Trini is missing. My sister is in a coma and I have a 1-day-old baby to take care of at the hospital. My head feels like it's about to explode. Nanaka. Before long, tears came streaming down her face. Auntie, I will die if anything happens to my baby. I won't survive it. When she glanced at her, her eyes held a mix of fear and anger. You are a strong woman, Maddie. This too shall pass. This won't kill you, it will make you stronger. The phone suddenly started ringing and Maddie quickly composed herself, wiping her face with the palm of her hand. She picked her phone from the table. Her call display simply listed the number as unknown. She knew it was them. Answer it, Chard said. Your first step is to get proof of life. Find out if Trinity is still alive, Shibuya said. Maddie shuddered at the thought of her child being dead. She would never forgive herself. If anything happened to her child, this whole kidnapping left her helpless. It made her feel like she had failed her daughter. She answered the phone and put it on speaker. Hello, do you have the money ready? He asked. His voice was harsh and it infuriated Maddie. How could someone be this heartless and inhuman? Couldn't he hear the pain in her voice? Did he even have any children of his own? Can I at least talk to my daughter before I respond to that question? She asked. Who are you to make demands? I call the shots, remember? I need proof of life. Put her on the line. Your daughter is fine. Well, you and I have nothing to talk about until I can speak to my daughter, she demanded. You bitch. There was a bout of silence before he spoke out. Fine, I will put her on. Good. There was a rustling sound on the other end of the line and then Trinity's voice came out. Shaky and scared. Mummy. Maddie's heart moved to her throat and tears filled her eyes as she heard Trinity's voice. Mama Bear, are you okay? Mummy, come and get me, she cried. I am coming to get you, my darling. I am scared. I love you, okay, and I am gonna come for you soon, she said in a choked voice. Sam was back online a moment later. Your daughter is fine and alive. But now let's talk about the money. I have the money, she said. Listen to me carefully. You must pack the money in a small black bag. At 6:30 p.m., you must drive along the Great East Road, and when you get at Pongo, in Chongwei District, someone will be waiting for you. Okay. They all listened quietly while Chard's men recorded the conversation. Shibuya quietly gave her a thumbs-up signal. They were getting somewhere. Up until now, you've shown me that you're willing to go to great lengths for this child, so do her a favor and don't try anything shitty. If you involve the police or anything stupid, the effects will be disastrous. I know what's at stake. I won't endanger my daughter's life. Good, he laughed. I will call you again at 19 to see if you have started off. Do not delay us and do not try anything silly. Okay, The line instantly went dead. Was that enough? She asked anxiously. They pressed the playback button and replied the whole conversation while isolating every minuscule background noise and doing voice analysis. For the next 2 hours, they tried to track down the kidnapper's exact location. Finally, after what seemed like forever, one of the men shouted in triumph. "I think we finally have something," he said. Everyone quickly stared back at the monitor. There was a map of an area and a red dot blinked on a secluded area. "This is where he is." He pointed on the dot. "Where is that place?" Maddie asked. "This is Chinkuli area of Chongwei district. I doubt he will still be in this place when she gets there. He might even tell her to drive to another location. He is smart enough to know that the call would be traced. The good news is that he is still around this area. Some of us will head out to this location. The rest of you will stay here and continue monitoring in case something comes up." "Okay, and as soon as Maddie starts off, you make sure to trace her movements." "Okay, I am going with you," Chard said. "You are sure?" "Yes." "You need to be careful." Maddie said, walked towards her and pulled her in his arms. "Trini and I will come back here safe and sound." She nodded. He gave her a light kiss on her lips before he followed Shibuya and the two armed men out of the house. "Keep us informed and be safe," they said. ****. 2 hours left. I'm scared. Maddie said he have a good feeling about all this. Auntie Debbie smiled. "I have prayed and God says it is done. What if they discover we are onto them and they end up murdering my baby?" She asked. "But if they find Trini and bring her back safe and sound before you drive all the way to that place? What if you go down there with all this money and they kill you in the end?" She asked. "There is no guarantee those men will let you go once you give them the money. They might up killing you." "New location alert," one of the men said as they carefully looked at the blinking red dot on the screen. ******. An hour left. The map Shibuya had received led them to a small abandoned house. The neighborhood consisted of a few houses and trees. They left their car just a few houses down. With guns raised high, they kicked the door open. The house looked as ramshackle inside as it did from the outside. Bottles of beer and packs of food were scattered around the room. Soon, they heard noises coming from one of the rooms in the back and headed towards them. With their guns at ready, they stormed inside what looked like a bedroom and found themselves facing 3 men. They were sitting at a table, cards spread out in front of them, laughing and talking loudly. As soon as they saw Shibuya and his friends, they suddenly moved into action.